morning, everybody that's watching online. Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, where our vision is awakening personal transformation for everybody. And we accomplish that through our mission by teaching tools for positive change. That's what we're all here to do. And our whole idea this year, the whole theme for this year is Your Joyous Year. So however joyous you are right now is probably more joyous than you were at January 1st, and it's going to get even better and better and better as we go through the year. So the theme sort of informs everything that we do, so I want to show you one of the things that is pretty darn joyous, and that is that this last weekend there was a tour for Joe Hughes. Do it. We are happy, we're productive, we're growing, we're centered, and filled with joy. So that's what we're all about. The goal for the month is to aim higher. And so in our expression, we want to, wherever we are, just do it a little more so that we have a little more joy, and that divine expression is out there in the world even more. So the title today is Your Work Must Be Holy. So this is not with a shaking finger that says, you know, your work must be holy. It's really that if it's your work, if it's what you do, if it is your natural calling, if it is your divine expression, then it necessarily must be holy, because that's the way the universe is constructed. And so Sandra Aguirrebede's altar today is such an example of that. Now, part of Sandra Aguirrebede's work in the world is to create beautiful altars for us, as is our entire altar team. And so I just want to thank Sandra for this fabulous altar and acknowledge that this is part of her holy work in the world. So today, I want to go back to the theme of the month, which is divine expression is our natural calling. And I want to kind of examine this a little bit in greater depth, because the emphasis really is on divine. There's something that you do better than anyone else in the world. And actually, there is something that you can only do. It's only yours to do. And that, whatever that is, you know, cooking your omelet the way you cook it, or loving your children the way you love them, or doing your training at your office the way you do it, whatever that is yours to do. And there are many things. It's not just one thing. It's that there are a lot of things that only you can do. And when we're doing it, we are in our divine expression. We're in our divine calling. And we actually should be doing it. And I know that word should also has that shaking finger along with it. But actually, you fulfill the purpose of the universe, and you're part of it when you do your natural calling. So we all should be doing our natural calling. Emma Curtis Hopkins was one of Ernest Holmes' teachers. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our particular denomination. And Emma Curtis Hopkins was a generation above him, and she had this great thing that applies right here. It says, God works through me to will and to do whatsoever ought to be done by me. So I'm going to say that again. God works through me to will. That means That means that when we want to operate in the world in a particular way, when that great desire wells up within us, that is God's will in us. It's God's working in us to will, and then we say yes to that, and then we do it. Whatsoever ought to be done by me. So it says the same thing. There is a divine calling, a divine expression, and when we are doing it, we are assisted by the very author of the universe to accomplish what is ours to accomplish. And when all of that happens in harmony, it's when we bring heaven to earth. It's when we're so happy, we're so blissful, we're so in our right place, we're doing our right thing. You feel it, right? You know what I'm talking about. When you are just in that flow of life, when you're just in that high, when you would be doing whatever you're doing, whether you're paid or not, because you love it so much, that's your natural calling. And you know, it can happen more and more and more and more as we just focus on what I'm going to talk about today. I'm excited about what I'm going to share with you. So the title, Your Work Must Be Holy, is your real work. It's what you were sent here to do. And by its very nature, it is sacred. So this could be your job, this could be your role in your family, this could be your avocation, this could be your leisure time. It's how you particularly love, it's how you particularly serve, it's how you particularly express yourself. It is absolutely your holy work. And it's not that hard to find it, because you're either doing it or you're longing to do it, because God works through you to will and to do. That's whatsoever ought to be done by you. And it's very simple sometimes too. Not all of us can, find the cure for cancer or whatever. It's little things. It's everybody doing their part to bring heaven to earth. And so sometimes we actually do the same things that we've always been doing. We just realize, oh, this is it. This is my sacred work. This is my ministry. And so we keep on doing the same things we've always been doing, but with a greater consciousness, because it said, before enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water, and then after enlightenment, you chop wood and carry water. But you do it with that feeling of, this is my ministry, this is what I'm here to do. So today we're going to talk about how to move your work to its natural divine expression. Okay, you ready for that? You're ready to just be in heaven more and more and more, and people come around you and they wonder why they feel so good, and it's because they get to be in your heaven that's all around you. So, good. We're ready for that. So the first 2 points are review, because they're very important from last week. So the review is identify the skills you've been given by God and then do them. And so it's not all that hard. It's what you love to do. So last night I was beginning to prepare the meal that I'm going to serve in the garden today, because this is my day for the Gourmet for a Good meal at my house. And I was puttering around the kitchen so happy, because I know that part of my holy work is to make delicious food. I know it. And so I was just measuring and cooking and pouring and making a mess, and then cleaning up, and because I was thinking about the talk today, and because I had a lovely meditation CD on, I was in heaven. I was in heaven. So thank you already to the people who are coming for lunch today at my house, because I've already had a good time. And the next is also a review. Discern your growing edge and stay there. So, the goal for this month is to aim higher. And so if we found our niche, we've found our groove, we're living there, we are doing our divine expression, you can say, what's next? What's more? What else can I do? What else can I give? Because if it's in your groove, the more you give, the more you love, and the more you have fun, and the more you have a joyful life, and it all works together like that. So in your prayers, to say, what's next? What more can I do? Every time we wake up in the morning, wonder what new development will happen today in keeping along with our natural divine expression. So the next point is what I really want to spend the most time on, and that is, this is the real key to really making your work your divine expression. And that is to identify the larger good that is already encompassed in your work. In other words, when you are doing you, the very, very best that you can do you, what are the divine qualities that are multiplying because of your activity, because of your action, because of what you're doing? What life-giving qualities are there being multiplied? So I have several examples of this. So I have a friend who is a formulator of skincare products. He started this kind of as a hobby. He's kind of a, you know, a little chemist, alchemist, mixing up potions. And so he puts these elixirs in little bottles and gives them to his friends. And he wants to market them on Amazon or wherever he can market them. And I said, you know, if you focused on the divine qualities that these products bring out, they would be irresistible. And so we thought about, well, beauty and comfort and self-love, you know, when your skin feels great and your hair looks great. It's a real quality. Now notice it is not over the top with saying, you know, you're going to be the sexiest person on the planet if you use this product. That's misrepresentation. But it's not misrepresentation when you focus on what really can happen. You can feel more beautiful. You can feel more content. You can feel more comfortable in the world. You can feel more comfortable in your own skin. Do you see what I mean? Find the divine qualities of what you already do and then focus on that. And then that leads you to the next and the next and the next thing. So the next example has to do with our community right here. Our court council, under the leadership of our wonderful president, Gail Durkin, we have been working on a new vision and mission statement that everybody can learn to say in their sleep, right? So they're now on the bulletin right here. And I'm going to talk about them all the time so that we all can say them in our sleep. So let's read them together. The vision is, with me, awakening personal transformation. And our mission is teaching tools for positive change. So that is the kind of thing that informs everything we do. So we take families to guide dogs for the blind for personal transformation. I bet you there was some personal transformation that day. We teach class so that we can offer people tools for positive change. We have absolutely fabulous music because we are all about personal transformation. And we have wonderful practitioners who offer you tools for positive change. Do you see how that works? Everything we do is about awakening personal transformation and about teaching tools for positive change. And so because I got so excited about this, I Googled positive mission statements to give you some more examples of how companies can look at divine qualities and pull them out and put them in their mission statements so they are consciously available to their clients. So, the Smithsonian, to increase, and let's see, just one moment here. To increase the diffusion of knowledge. Isn't that beautiful? The Nature Conservancy, to conserve the lands and water on which all life depends. Yeah. PBS, to create content that educates, informs, and inspires. Isn't that, can you see how that can be used to make a decision every time you have something coming to you? Does this fit the mission? And then Habitat for Humanity, I love this. Seeking to put God's love into action, Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. Isn't that beautiful? So the next example is St. Patrick, because St. Patrick, you know, some of you are already celebrating St. Patrick this morning. Thank you very much. But you know, St. Patrick, the St. Patrick's Day is Tuesday. And I think it is so darned interesting that Of all the saints, he is beloved across the sea, you know, and we all get to be Irish on St. Patrick's Day, but Patrick himself was really quite an amazing person, because he Christianized Ireland, but with the largest good imaginable. The Christianity that hit Ireland was not the confining Christianity of the Inquisition. It was an expansive philosophy that incorporated the pagan elements that were so alive in Ireland that they stayed alive. And so still today in Ireland, there is this lovely, lovely mix of, Christianity and gods and goddesses and you know, deities on the land and all that stuff. So what I'm going to read to you is a part of a prayer that has come down to us as St. Patrick's breastplate. Now, in armor, there's a big, powerful breastplate to protect the organs on the inside. And so there's a concept in the New Testament of the Bible where it says, put on the armor of light. And so the armor of light is St. Patrick's breastplate. And this is a long prayer that parts of it have a lot to do with Jesus and the other saints and so on. But the part I'm going to read to you is the part that includes the earth, because that's my favorite part too. I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of sun, radiance of moon, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of wind, depth of sea, stability of earth, and firmness of rock. And so this is what called the man who became the saint to get up every morning, to experience light, radiance, splendor, speed, swiftness, depth, stability, and firmness. So that's another example of bringing forth divine qualities from the work that you already do. So I thought about this for myself, and I encourage all of you to do the same thing. So, I've had vision and mission statements for projects over my lifetime, but I thought, what encompasses everything? So today, this is the vision that I have for my life. I help us earthlings love our choice to come to earth. And so to me, that encompasses where we came from, the unformed substance. It encompasses all of the tradition of science and mind, because being comfortable on earth has to do with learning how to operate within the creative law. It has all to do with my ritual work and how I help people through transitions of all kinds through ritual. And so that's the larger context that is me right now. So I love to do this so much that I recommend that you do the same thing. And you start with asking, in my work, what is the larger good? Of what I already do, what can I say is the deepest reason that I do it? Why do I get up in the morning and do it again? And then you claim it. When you claim the divine quality that you want in your work, what happens is that you are given the next and the next and the next and the next step. So the caveat, of course, is if you cannot see a greater good in what you get up in the morning to do, stop it. Don't do it anymore. Because you are squandering the gift of life. And you are not giving that divine expression that is yours to give. So if that's your case, that you can't find a greater good in what you do. Or you can say, well, I make money and it alleviates boredom. Not good enough. You know, our practitioners are really available to you to ferret out what it is that wants to come through you. And it is magnificent. Whatever it is that wants to come through you is magnificent. And it does have everything to do with these larger life principles and issues and values and ways of being. And you will be much, much happier when that happens for you. So that's the big, you got that? You got that? Find the larger good encompassed in your work. The next is, I just had to say this, harm no one. You know, in your larger work of lies, exaggeration, forcing, comparison, misrepresentation, coercion, manipulation, no, we don't do that. That's another one of those things that takes you away from your divine purpose. I wish I could say this to every single face on the news. Don't do these things. It's damaging. It's damaging to you to misrepresent the divine life in you that way. So there's plenty of excitement in love and honesty and seeking the larger good. Plenty of excitement. You don't need any more drama from those other things. So we can't help but hurt or be involved in hurt sometimes with others. As much as we want, as much as we love, as deeply as we love, we can't avoid being involved in hurt, either for ourselves or another, because that's the natural thing that happens when we activate an unhealed place. We don't do it intentionally, but if we activate an unhealed place in someone else or in ourselves, hurt is the natural outcome. Now, there have been other talks about how we deal with hurt and how hurt is really a gift because it shows us where our unhealed places are, and nobody's really hurting us. That thing is already within us, just ready to be like scratched a little bit, and then we come full blown with this, you know, hurt feelings. And it's not because anyone was inherently dangerous, it's because there's an unhealed place in us. So if that happens, say, great, time for healing. Next, continually seek divine guidance. And this is where we offer prayers with the practitioners, classes over and over and over again, workshops, all of the events and the programs that we have in this community, encouraging you to establish your own personal practice of whatever it is that brings you close to your source, so that you can be in that spiritual practice. It's not just for practicing it to get perfect at it. Spiritual practice is to open to that divine guidance that is always, always there. And the last one is, note the gifts from the universe with gratitude. Because what happens is that there's answers to prayer. What happens is there's divine guidance for your next project. What happens is there is a beautiful, beautiful opening and a surprise from God that you never, ever expected. And so when you maintain gratitude for all these things happening, they happen more and more and more frequently. So I have a quote from a website called Witches and Pagans. Now, those of you who know me are going to be very happy that I'm quoting from the Witches and Pagan website. For those of you that don't know me, I want to say that I find information to support what I say from every single wisdom tradition. And this happened to come from the Witches and Pagan website, which I think just happened to, it just appeared on my feed, and so I clicked it, and there it is. But listen to this, it's so fabulous. How do we respond to the growing light and vitality of the awakening earth? How do our minds and bodies stretch and move? The receding snow, the warming temps, and all the eminent vitality returning to the land calls us out of our homes, out of our own shadowy internal places and into the light. What do we find when we venture out? Our work, our loves, our play and pleasures and passions? Do we encounter what we are ready to commit to? Do we find the strength and vision in ourselves to move up to the next set of lessons, the next pressing set of concerns that demand our love and labor? I'm not exactly sure yet what the waxing year might be calling me to do. I have hints and ideas. I have dedications that I made at Imalk. This is not entirely clear, but the rising energetic tide is undeniable. And allied with it, we can step into our power, into our gnosos, and into a deeper intimacy with Source. So this is the gift of spring, and it happens to everybody. It's happening right now. As a matter of fact, the spring equinox will happen before we meet again. And just to let you know that the actual moment of, or as close to, as we can get to the moment of equinox, is 3:45 a.m. on Friday morning. And that's close enough to next Sunday that I'll be talking about the equinox next Sunday. But just know that this is the balanced time of the year. The first balanced time, when we get to say, what do I want more of and what do I want less of in order to be really balanced. And the energy in the spring equinox, of course, is rising. And so in our goal this month is to aim higher. We are assisted in that by the very energy of the earth. And so this is part of what we get to give gratitude for at this time of year. And it's gratitude no matter what your divine expression is, no matter what your natural calling is, you get this big, big boost of divine energy right here and now. So in conclusion this morning, I want your work, whatever it is in the world, to bring you love and pleasure, and at the same time to bring love and pleasure to all of those that you meet on your journey. This is a quote from The Charge of the Goddess, which we think comes from ancient times. It's been rewritten by Starhawk in modern times, but I love it exactly for what we've been talking about this morning. So this is the goddess speaking. Let my worship be in the heart that rejoices, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honor and humility, mirth and reverence within you. If we have these things in this balanced and beautiful way, our work in the world will bring heaven to ourselves and others. Thank you. Thank you very much. So for those of you who say, well, I knew that already, going deeper, this is what you can do to go deeper, and that is to pray, show me how to multiply the good. So taking all this now into our heart of hearts, and turning within. Bring to mind, if you would, as much about your calling as you know. What's your growing edge? What qualities might be active in what you already do and what you want to multiply? And take these beautiful pairs of qualities and add them to that beautiful expression that is already yours. Beauty and strength. Beauty and strength in your gift, in your giving, in your perseverance, in your vision for what it is that is your work in the world. Power and compassion. It's so important to have authentic power and always tempered by compassion, so that that force, that irresistible force of creativity that moves through us, is colored by the compassion of the readiness that the people around us might be feeling or not feeling when our power comes at them. So the balance of power and compassion, and the balance of honor and humility, honoring our life's path, honoring the God within us, honoring that life force within us, honoring that amazing force of energy that moves through us into creation, and knowing that actually all of it belongs to the God of our soul. That is humility. And mirth and reverence. It is so deep, and it is so serious, and it is so filled with mirth, this earthly life. Depth and breadth and good humor. What a wonderful balance going into this time of equinox. May it be so for each one of us in our work and our play in the world. And as a matter of fact, may those two things be very, very similar. Blessed be.